Okay, as promised, I said I'm gonna read part 4 and never mind, part 5 of the comic. So let's start. So part 4 is Forsaken Friends Group and The Night She Loves Go Shopping. So it's 7 a.m. Yassi's waiting for the toast. Well, there's no charging thing, because I didn't draw it. And it comes out burnt toast. And then Yassi is just whining because it got burned. It's usually never burned anyway. It's like normal toast, not burnt toast. And then she goes to my brother's room. My brother came out. Okay, I'm so sorry. There was like some random noises. My current house does not have a lot of privacy. Anyways, Yassi is like crying because the toast is burned. And yeah. And then my brother looked at the toast and like and then he went to the kitchen to check the toaster. After a few minutes, he told Yassi, which is my best friend, that the toaster is broken. Okay, and then my brother, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm so sorry. I was doing something real quick. Anyways, continue just the comic. My brother also checked the fridge, but there's no more food. Where is it? Oh. And then he said, we'll have to go shopping then. And then after everyone woke up, my brother told everyone that they all have to go shopping, and they all agreed. And then Max just said like, yo, are we gonna fly there or drive there? And I said, probably fly. The mall's just like 1 kilometer away from my house. Yeah, it's pretty close a little bit, not too much. And then Nightshades was like, wait, me and Silly can't fly. I'm not sure if Nightshades can fly. And then my brother said, who's gonna carry Silly and Nightshades to the mall? And Animator XD said, I'll carry Silly. My best friend said, I'll carry Nightshades. And then Max just said, well, I'm gonna change it to my ghost form. Well, yes, he has a ghost form because he's pretty much dead. And then he changed it to his ghost form. Izor was like, hey, wait a second. Where did that guest go? Which is him. He's the guest. And he's right here. Although you can barely see him, I drew him way more blurry than what I used to draw it like this, because he changed into his ghost form. And he said, I'm still here. I just became a ghost. But he was thinking of something like this. Gosh, it's painful. Yeah, it is very painful as well. Because look, he's missing an arm. And then R2 is like, not to be rude, but can we go now? Because we've been in our house for quite a long time. My brother is like, right, sorry Marutu. Okay everyone, let's go. And they all flew to the mall, but there's like a lot of people looking at them flying. Although they're humans while flying, and then Max just told Rexy about it. And then my brother covered them all of them, and then continued to fly to the mall. And once they arrived at the mall, and Max just changed back into his human form. And then he said, holy shit, that was so awkward. Sorry, I just swear a little. They went inside the mall, and a lot of people are looking at them. For some reason, because they're not normal humans. I forgot to write, maybe a few hours or something, and I was thinking this. Why do I feel like my blood pressure is low? Well, I actually have this kind of disease in real life too. And Izor was like, Timmy, are you okay? You seem stressed. Well, not really stressed. It's just that my blood pressure is just low as heck. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And I faint. And Izor was like, holy spawn, catches me before I hit the ground. And a few minutes later, I woke up. And I'm laying on Izor's arm. We're not dating, okay? We're okay. Do not go to the comment and say you ship us. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, oh, thank the spawn, you're awake. And then my brother came and like says, are you okay? Ice told me what happened. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And my brother said we bought the groceries and a new toaster. And then before he's gonna say let's go back home, Max interrupted them and said, guys, why is the McDonald's on fire? And they all turned to the McDonald's. And there goes my OC's husband saying, you didn't pay for the ice cream. I should be the one having it. And then Carrot just said, my arms are injured. I should be the one having it. And fine, you asked for it. This is like mass inflammation. Well, he's basically almost like a copy of 1X. And the whole building caught on fire, which is aka the mall, caught on fire, and then everyone just screamed and panicked for some reason. Well, yeah, because it's on fire, that's why they had to scream it. Okay, my bad, it was my brother's alarm in real life. Sorry again. Anyways, Isaac was like, shit, we have to get out of here. And my brother like told all of us to go with him. And they all evacuated and flew back to their house. And once they arrived back at their house, and then Rex and my brother locked the door. Well, the front door, not any other door. And my best friend's like, what was that? Ugh, these killers committed arson in the mall. I shouldn't be saying this word, this C word. I shouldn't be saying this. It's like, it should be censored. I'm like, you mean those two who visit this house a lot? They should be going to prison by now. Well, yeah, they should be, but I said this. It's useless. Even when they get arrested, it's nothing. Because, and then she asked me, why is it useless to arrest them? And I said, well, they are strong killers, have horns to attack and wings to fly. But the problem is, Carrot cannot fly. But before I finished my words, and Max just interrupted me by saying this, sorry to interrupt you, but it's already 10 p.m. Can we sleep? Oh, alright. And part 5, here I come. Which is, they go on a vacation, but gone wrong. And also, right here, I'm not gonna write them, they had their breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because I got lazy on writing it. My house has a lot of noises. Anyways, it's 7:55. Yasi is cleaning the table, but she's thinking of, Tammy's right, we never get peace in our life. And yeah, my grandma sucks. And I'm like, come on, Yasi, think of something where we can have peace. Well, I wasn't supposed to be saying that. My grandma actually sucks. I'm not kidding. And I walked to the hallway, saw Yasi, and I was like this, Yasi? And then Yasi just screamed. I'm not screaming. And like, oh, it's just you, Tammy. And I asked her, what is she doing? And then she told me that, do you remember when we said we had no peace? And I like, yeah, why? I'm trying to think of something that we will have peace. And I said, alright, well, you think of something, I'm gonna go change. And like, she's like, okay. And now she's thinking of what should we do so we can have peace. And pretty much like 40 minutes later, she finally thought of going on vacation to a freaking cruise ship. And then she called everyone to the meeting room because she wants to tell us something. And they all got to the meeting room. My brother got a little annoyed and said, what is it this time? And then Yasi said, remember when Tammy said we never had peace? What about it? Are we going somewhere? We're going on a cruise ship. And I whispered to my brother saying, we've been on a cruise ship, how are we? And then he whispered back saying, yeah, we have. Well, we actually did. And Animator XD is just like curious of saying this. Everyone, what do I feel like Tammy is the leader of our group? They're like sitting on a chair that is more likely where the leader will sit. And then Max explained that I am the leader because I'm stronger than all of them combined. And Silly just like, wow, I didn't know Tammy was that strong. And I'm very embarrassed, and I just say, okay, can we not talk about my strength, just book a cruise ship? That's what I'm doing right now, but which cruise? Tammy, have you been on a cruise before? Yes. Why? And Izora said, what kind of cruise do you recommend, Tammy? And I said, I've been to the Spectrum of the Sea, which is in Singapore. Book that cruise. Okay, I'll book it right now. I'm skipping the part where they're getting on a cruise because there's like a whole lot of things to do. And they went to their room, put their bags, and explored the ship. And then Animator XD is like, finally we can have peace and no chaos. And somehow the killers came. Carrot wanted to like kill the Nightshade lovers. And then Rip Bacon's like, Carrot, don't you dare. And then she charges towards to Iser, but Iser quickly reacted. But the problem is he did not get his ice dagger out. I'm not gonna scream, okay? I shouldn't be right mouse sound because look, I'm literally blocking the attack. And Iser was like, "Am I alive? Wait, tie me?" I'm not gonna say this thing. I don't know how to say it. Well, I'm not gonna growl as well because it's kind of weird. And my brother walked towards Carrot, and then kicked her, and then she screams in pain. Although I can't really draw kick. And then Max takes out his gun and shoots at Carrot. And then he said this, "Seriously, I thought we were gonna have no chaos. What the F word is this vacation? What in the name of Jesus is your problem? What did we ever do to you? Yeah, I ain't dealing this shit, peace." And then he teleported back to his house. And Iser was so scared. It's like, holy spawn, if Timmy didn't come, I would die. Don't you have 2 lives? Oh. And then Rip Bacon teleported back and said, and then thinks of, I forgot Carrot can't do shit when I'm not, oh my gosh. I forgot Carrot can't do shit when I'm not there. I have to help her. And then he did that mass inflammation again. Well, he was gonna aim at my brother, and then I blocked it. And then Max was like, "Tie me." I'm not gonna scream. Okay, I'm not gonna scream. And then, yeah, I somehow died. Well, I didn't really die. And then Kara stepped on my dagger and broke it. And then she charges towards the Night Shield lovers, but Rexy blocked them and got hit instead. Well, he is still surviving, but barely any health. And Animator XD shocked. I told Animator XD to borrow me their dagger, and then they give me their dagger. I stab Kara from behind, and then she screams, and then she bends the dagger. Well, I did remake the Second Life one, so yeah. And then Rip Bacon told Kara to leave so they can have peace. So like we can have peace. And then, but he actually wants to go home. And Kara was like, "No, I'm not leaving." And Rip Bacon had no choice but to force her to do it, and said, "We are leaving, and we're not gonna meet them until you behave." Yeah, because she wasn't behaving. She's a very bad girl. And Rip Bacon teleported him and Kara back to their house. I picked up my dagger and I started to cry because it's broken. I started sad, and then he hugged me and said, "It's okay, Timmy." And I said, "This dagger was a gift from my brother, and it's broken." And then cried again. And then my brother was like, "I'll spawn a new one for you, Timmy. It's okay." And also he got healed by my best friend. "But you made this dagger for my birthday." "It's okay. Even if it's not your birthday, I'll still spawn one for you." "Hey, can I get a new one too? My dagger just got bent." "Sure, let's go to my room." They all went back to their room except for these two. My brother cast a spell and spawned 2 new daggers. And Animator XD is like, "Thanks for the new dagger, Mr. Rexy." And then Rexy is like, "You're welcome, and please call me Rexy." Oh my gosh, my voice. "You're welcome, and please call me Rexy." Oh my god, what happened to my voice? And I was like, "Okay, thanks for the dagger anyway." And I looked at the dagger, and then my brother's like, "Sis, are you okay?" "Thank you." I'm like, "You're welcome, hugs." Iser just looked at me and realized that I'm actually smiling. Well, it was my OC's first time smiling. And then he said, "Timmy, you're smiling." I'm like, "Huh?" And then Rexy is like, "He's right, you are smiling." Well, my OC never smiled before. And I said, "Did I actually smile?" And that's the end, because I don't know what to draw now. And that's all for today. So hope you guys enjoyed my comic. And there will be a new story about them again. But it's going to be in different AU. It's called the Experiment AU. So hope y'all have a good day, and may the spawn bless you guys. So goodbye, guys.